Welcome back, everybody. It's time for game number 2 of Alliance versus DK. That's right, you heard it. The Dota Kings are taking on the Swedish TI3 champions, and it's game 2. DK sweeping their way to a game 1 victory. And for game number 2, once again, joining me is Baseskip. Baseskip, are we ready to go?
We are ready to go.
That's good. That's what I wanted to hear. We're going to see what Alliance can do to bounce back here. We'll get ourselves into the draft for game number 2. Game 1, I don't even think it was I mean, there's like some small minor things which you can point at the draft, but for the most part, it was just DK outmaneuvering and outplaying Alliance.
Well, I mean, it is, even if things had gone a little bit better in the early game, it is ridiculously difficult to push into the teamfight power of both a Doom and a Brewmaster. And I think DK snagging that last pick Brew was a huge point. But yeah, I don't think you can necessarily point to the draft and say, oh, look, Alliance had lost it right out of the gate. It was just really nice early movement from DK as well.
Yep, and well, once again, we'll see Lamb in the drafting seat, Burning,
Mm-hmm.
perched over his... I've just never seen Burning so active during a draft. I'm so used to seeing these teams. I mean, there's a lot of group stage matches leading up to the finals. It's like a big ladder league. They kind of like based on like a professional sports model, and they play a lot of matches. And half the time during those group stage matches, Ice and Burning are just sitting there during a draft, like half asleep, struggling to stay awake, playing around in their chair. For this, both teams are so concentrated, so in the zone right now that it's incredible to see.
Yeah, this is a super important match. And I think something that we touched on before is just how there's a lot of prize money for this tournament, but it's also, as is the nature of Chinese tournaments, it's extremely top heavy. And so
Yeah.
the difference between I'm guessing that the difference between third and second is pretty substantial. So
I think a good I think it's like 150k for first out of the 250k total.
Mhm.
Let me quickly
Yeah, here
check
I
that
can
out.
pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, but it's very, very top heavy.
Yeah, so
First
it's
place,
161 and then 48. So basically 150, 50, and then 16. So this is pretty important. You win this match, you're guaranteed second. You are guaranteed a pretty substantial chunk
Yep.
of the prize pool.
Okay, so a lot at stake here between these two teams, and I mean, prize money aside, this is bragging rights. This is a very
Mhm.
prestigious tournament. This is, I mean, you could argue almost like the most prestigious league outside of like TI. Like as far as leagues go, I mean, it doesn't have all the teams in the world competing. Maybe you could argue like something like Starladder is, but Starladder being totally global and WPC not being as inclusive. But as far as prize pool goes, this is a massive event.
Yeah, it's massive, and it's also got that mini TI factor that people
Yeah.
always talk about in having the cross of East and West teams.
Yep. The last time Alliance went to China, they swept through the G1 League, going undefeated, taking down all the Chinese teams. This time, though, a much rougher road for them. We'll see what they can do to bounce back in game number 2. They've banned up the Doom and Enchantress that caused them problems in game 1 and given away a first pick Bat Rider to DK. How
Yeah,
big is this?
complete mix up on the
Yeah.
draft. Yeah, if Alliance, if you're giving it away, you have some kind of plan. So there's still Shadow Demon in the pool. There's still a VS in the pool. I'll mention it just because I saw them run it the other day. There's the Kunkka. X marks the spot. Actually, immediately breaks. Immediately breaks lasso. Even if
Okay.
Batrider is holding you still, returning X marks the spot is still enough to break it. So it's not something that I've ever seen people do, but it is something I guess to bring up as a potential option against the bat. But yeah, I think Alliance have done this knowingly, and they don't want to play against that Land of Enchantress again. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, he just completely outmaneuvered them. Unless they're planning to pick in the first stage, and guess what? No Enchantress. DK take the Chen. They say we want a jungler and we want it bad, so they just seem to like understand how to use these junglers really well. Not to, and it's like I'm not saying that to say Aki doesn't. He's up there, and his actual micro I think is outclasses Lamb's. Like the way he uses Chen with Force Staff and Centaur Stomps, but Lamb's decision making about where to gank and where to roam around was just perfect last game.
Yeah, and for DK, the Chen pick is a little bit interesting. Again, it's a nice hero to have just to apply pressure to mid lane, and that's something that I don't know if we've seen teams doing necessarily all that much. We've been seeing a lot of Invoker picks. It hasn't really been banned that much, but I feel like it's a hero that for whatever reason has sort of escaped the stigma of like, oh yeah, so easy to gank. The OD, SF, those kind of heroes. Everybody immediately thinks of them as
Yeah.
in terms of mid play as like, okay, that guy's easy to gank. We're gonna pick roaming supports. We're gonna gank him a whole lot. But Invoker seems to escape a little bit of that treatment, but
Mid's also
looks like
become
maybe
really.
not so much this game.
I think mid in general has just become really hard to gank in general, like regardless of
Yeah.
hero, because of the way offlaners play. They're constantly scouting out supports, sitting on cliffs to reveal smoke ganks. I think mid lane's one of the harder lanes to gank nowadays, just
Yeah,
because of the
people are
nature
playing
of the
really
current metagame.
cautiously. Yeah, people are
Yeah.
playing really cautiously in the early game, not wanting to give away
Ooh.
any early kills.
I'm having some TI3 flashbacks here with this Nature's Prophet Naga Siren draft from Alliance. Could this be a farming Naga Siren, or do you think we're looking at a support?
Um, I think I think we might just be looking at a support. Honestly, I feel like Invoker, Nature's Prophet, and Naga Siren as your cores would be very greedy. I mean, it's definitely doable, and there's definitely still the option for Lions to keep their draft open and do that if for some reason DK present the opportunity. But
Yep.
I don't know. I worry that Nature's Prophet, Nagasan, and Invoker all just they're very static heroes in the early game. When Nature's Prophet is sort of your biggest early mover and shaker as far as core heroes are concerned, then I think you have to be a little bit concerned.
All right.
So
Well,
we'll see.
DK respond with a Mushi Kunkka, one of his best heroes. So most likely the Kunkka goes mid, Ice heads to the offlane with the Batrider. Chen, not really a hero you can consider offensive jungling with too easily. And Alliance, standard CM support. So back to their roots here as far as some of the picks that they've acquired. And DK don't waste any time. Ember Spirit, whoa, this draft just they're speeding through it.
Yeah, this draft is really flying by, and now DK, I guess, feeling a little bit more comfortable with being a game up. I wouldn't say that Kanka and Ember are necessarily unusual picks. They're definitely still within their repertoire, but at the same time, they're not heroes that we've been seeing a whole lot of recently in competitive
And I
Dota.
don't think Burning's ever played the Ember Spirit. Normally it's Mushi on
Yeah,
Ember Spirit. So there's like two Mushi heroes. Burning obviously going to be taking one of them. It's just a matter of which it is. Because I think it's better to put the Ember Spirit safe lane than the Kunkka. But we'll see. If
they're
Burning needs to go
both
mid Kunkka, he could.
yeah they're both pretty vulnerable, at least as far as the early game is concerned on mid. But I think the Ember Spirit is much more important to secure the farm out, and especially after the nerfs. If the Ember Spirit has a bad early game, it's very, very difficult to recover. Comparatively, Kunkka gets a lot of his impact out of just having one or two items. So it's much less important if he ends up being ganked up quite a bit. So yeah, I think you're right. It's probably going to be safe lane Ember and mid Kunkka.
Alright, well, DK need another support here. Alliance, hard to say. Naga Siren could be the carry, could be Lotus Hero, could be a support. Depends. At this point, there's so much to destroy illusions. Kunkka Cleave, Batrider Firefly, Ember Spirit Slider Fist. I think you're maybe right that it's more likely going to be a support Naga Siren. I think that's what I lean towards as well, but we'll see what Alliance have in mind. They're perched around S4 discussing their options right now, and it's going to be a support Naga Siren, it looks like, as... whoops, I forget I'm not meant to say anything.
Jeez gods, no
I held my
spoilers.
tongue, for the most part.
Yeah. Well,
We'll see in just
so
a second.
you can guess that that the next pick is going to be something carry oriented. But
Yeah.
yeah, for Alliance, this is again I think the draft that's well within their well within their wheelhouse. The Invoker pick is again something that could maybe struggle a little bit, especially if DK gets some early momentum going, and they have a really long time to consider what this last support pick is going to be. And there's still quite a few good roaming supports in the pool. They could even just go for the Lion again if they really wanted to.
Yeah, Lions definitely gives them some extra additional lockdown. Not that they're lacking in that department, depending on how they want to play this. Otherwise, you're against a Nature's Prophet, so if you want to go a bit greedy, you could get something like a Sand King even to go with the Chen. Although not really an MMY here. Normally, it's Lamb who also plays the Sand King. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Dazzle has some nice synergy with Ember,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see what the plan is. I saw one person mention in the chat. Aki used to play a lot of support Gyro. Well, when I say a lot, he played a few games of support Gyrocopter, but
Oh, the Ake Copter.
yeah, I doubt we're seeing that, but who knows? The hero did get a few small buffs to his homing missile, but I just don't think it's anywhere near that being that viable as a support.
Yeah, I don't think so. And as soon as Alliance pick up their heroes, you know what it's gonna. You know what if it's gonna be a support gyrocopter or a
Yeah.
core gyrocopter. So I mean, it's a little bit mind gamey as far as the draft is concerned, but this late, things are I think relatively set, and I think you would. You can mind game as much as you want, but at the same time, if you just have, like we were talking about earlier, if you have Invoker, Nature's Prophet, and Naga Siren as your three cores, then I think you just get completely ganked and pushed down by the DK drafts here, just because you have nothing to work with for the extremely early game.
And it is going to be the Lion. So once again, faith in MMY's Lion. I'm not complaining here, I'll tell you that. As I will see DK getting ready to go in game number 2. Looking at the drafts, do you think this is... I mean, I don't think you can blame the draft too much in game 1, but do you like Alliance's draft better than last game? Do you think they match up a bit better this time around?
The first couple of, I think like the first one or two team fights that they take with Song are going to be game deciding. I don't think that this draft is necessarily better or worse than the draft in the previous game, but I think it gives them maybe a few more options as far as matching up against DK. So I guess in that respect, I like it a little bit better.
Alright, well, we'll hop ourselves in the game momentarily. We've got DK versus Alliance. DK leading things 1-0 here in this best-of-3 semi-final. Winner will make it to the grand finals, where IG are waiting. A possible DK versus IG matchup. A lot of people remember that best-of-7 from last year, where IG went up 3-0, and DK came back from a 3-0 deficit to win the series 4-3. Something completely unheard of. I mean, for Dota, it's unheard of because we don't get best-of-7s, but even looking at professional sports, whatever it may be, where there's best-of-7 series, teams who go down 3-0 just never win. It doesn't happen, and DK somehow managed to make it happen. We'll see, though. Grand Finals isn't coming until Monday. Right now, it's your semi-finals. We've got DK playing over on the Radiant side. We're going to see Ice 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 on the Batrider. We've got Mushi playing the Kunko. We've got Burning on the Ember Spirit. It's going to be MMY playing the support line, and then Lamb playing the jungle Chen for the DK team.
Yeah, and meanwhile, over on Alliance, with their backs up against the wall, need a win in this match. We've got S4 handling his Invoker, heading towards mid. We've got Admiral Bulldog on the Nature's Prophet. Loda is going to be handling the Gyrocopter, EGM on the support Naga Siren, and finally, we have Ake on the Crystal Maiden.
Well, if they're going to go out, they're going to go out playing some of their strongest heroes. EGM's Naga Siren was just beast mode during TI3. Aki on Crystal Maiden, one of his comfort heroes. He can play a bit greedy early on in the jungle, then go look to help out the lanes. He's got options available to him. And Loda on Gyrocopter, well, that's a carry hero which suits Loda to a T. So I like what Alliance have done with this draft. It is kind of 6.79-ish, but all these heroes still very strong in their own right.
Yeah, and looks like it's going to be a Quas-Wex Invoker, just judging from the Blades of Attack pickup on S4. So really nice synergy with the song, really nice synergy with the Gyrocopter, and helps them buy a little bit more space to head into that late game where the Nature's Prophet can be a really relevant core. But DK actually mixing things up a little bit here.
Yeah.
So
Safe playing Batrider, so they get the 1v1 matchup. They put the Burning Ember Spirit off lane, but he's just solo off lane. He's got no supports in sight. The two supports for DK, they're bottom lane. They're going for an early smoke wraparound. Bulldog, maybe not aware of where they are. He's sent some treants off in the side here, but the smoke is not going to be revealed, and it looks like Bulldog could be a potential first blood. There's going to be a Hex into a Hellbear smash, and Bulldog is low. Can't PP out of this one. There's some treants. It looks like first blood goes DK's way. Batrider picks it up. Again, you just have to emphasize how smart Lamb is with these rotations. Every time he uses a smoke, he makes something happen.
And now DK, after securing that kill and securing a little bit of early farm on Ice Ice Ice, will swap things around and start giving Burning the farm. That was just... That was really nicely mind game from DK. And
I'm not sure where...
Bulldog just wasn't sure what was going on, honestly.
I think Alliance as a whole were just like, I don't really know where DK supports are. Are they in our jungle? Are they in their jungle? They didn't get any early information or scouting done, really, which is something which DK punished them for.
Yeah. The other thing is, as well, is that Bulldog's kind of gambling a little bit, too. He's like, well, I don't know what the supports are. If I play back and S4 also plays back, then we're missing out on a lot of farm. So I'll just gamble maybe that they're heading towards mid instead. Yeah. And because I don't have any information to tell me otherwise, I'll just stick around. So it does end up paying for it. But I don't think you can...
catch-up here, so it's...
Yeah, I don't think you can call out Bulldog necessarily for dying to that first blood.
Yeah, Prophet, he can always catch up. He'll get his minus eventually, and it's just a matter of making sure you just don't get completely out-farmed in the laning stage, which would just be another way to lose without giving up the kill. Unfortunately, while it doesn't hurt Bulldog too much, it does help DK a huge amount, getting that first blood, going to the Batrider as well. So that's already, if Ice wants Tranquil Boots, he can get him in the offlane, but he may just want to rush that blink as fast as possible.
Yeah, and that little bit of an early start's definitely going to help Ice. The other thing to mention as well is that they can't necessarily set up so much of the jungle for him, which is often an option when you have a Batrider in the offlane, just because the Chen is occupying quite a bit of it. So giving him that little bit of help means that you kind of help ensure that blink, which you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, just because of the draft.
Alright, well, mid lane, it looks like Mushi actually ahead on CS for now. Maybe partly because those supports being missing, S4's been playing safe, but Mushi on Kunkka, he knows exactly how to play on most matchups, and he's going for 2 in the Tidebringer, 1 in the X for now. I imagine he'll get another point in X at level 5. He likes to level this up early to go for ganks. There's a smoke wraparound from EGM, but the supports are waiting. MMY with an impel into a Hex. There's a Chen creep as well, but not enough damage there to get the kill. Mushi's bottling up. He's going to go for an X into a torrent. It lands, and EGM dies in the mid lane. The smoke gank from Nagasaran just not working out there.
It wasn't even smoked. He kind of tested Mushi by walking up towards the hill and seeing if he reacted at all, and from that, so
the Radiant Ward just scouting him, make his way towards there.
Yeah, and he just walked straight in, and MMY was waiting for him.
It really feels like Alliance feel like they're under pressure to make things happen when they go for those kind of ganks, and that's something DK will just happily punish, because DK, they're the ones calm, collected, and they're ahead in this series.
Yeah, and EGM just got false information. He poked his head out and he's like, oh, hey, Mushi's not running back to the cliff, so I guess he either doesn't know I'm here or he feels safe. And it turned out that he just felt safe because MMY was sitting right behind him.
Well,
this time around, it's a smoke.
I think they realized, okay, it was bait. Let's make sure we have the smoke on us, and it's going to be CM as well as Nagasaran. Mushi could be in some trouble here. There's going to be a tornado, which makes the ensnare actually miss. Not the best coordination there, but they'll get the frostbite as well. The Nova here. There's a haste rune. Mushi, one last right click will finish him off. Just barely get that kill. They almost messed that up royal.
Yeah, they almost didn't get that. I think some uphill misses would have spelled the difference between living or not.
Yeah.
But
I think the Tugo was thinking I got to use the tornado to cancel the haste rune, but S4 didn't need to use that tornado so early.
Yeah, I think it was Alliance just... S4 wasn't sure if the net was going to be in range, so he just was trying to make sure, and it was just a split-second decision.
Okay. End of the day, they get the kill, so no, Alliance can worry about the execution later on, and they go immediately into another smoke gank. Mushi, not something you often expect. Like, right after dying, you're not thinking like, oh, 30 seconds later they're going to smoke again. But it is the case. Mushi, though, seems to be a bit worried about it because he's playing super conservative, but it's top lane, Ice. Maybe going to get caught out here. EGM runs up. He's going to get the ensnare off. There's loaded with a Rocket Barrage as well as the Crystal Maiden nukes. Ice goes down. 2 kills to Alliance now on the board. Well played by the Swedish team to get themselves back in the game. And DK, meanwhile, are going for a bit of a push on bottom lane.
The early game support movements from both teams have been really nice, and looks like we might even have a little bit of a tower trade coming up.
Prophet ditches bottom lane, knowing it's not a safe place to be in, rightfully so. The DK supports were actually using a smoke here, so smoke from Lamb will help them maybe get a tier 1 tower, but not much more than that.
Nice little thing for Bulldog, pulls the creep wave away, not that uncommon, but does help ensure the tower.
They could maybe defend bottom. Aki drags the creeps with a Nova, but Glyph being used as well. This siege creep may be keeping this push alive, but if Alliance TP in more heroes, they could look to defend this. Meanwhile, top lane, Ice wants to deny. He won't get it. Could be an ensnare coming in, but Ice is using that tree line to his advantage. Gets ensnared up. There's a Riptide. Has he gone too aggressive here? The cooldown will finish Ice off. What a misplay coming out from the DK offlaner. That was completely unnecessary. He got so greedy going for that tower deny.
Yeah, well, even just going back in was the really cheeky part. What are the stakes? He missed the tower gambling deny. A little. Yeah, he missed the tower deny, but he was also, I think, okay after that, and then goes back in, and he's gambling a tiny bit of damage on one of the Alliance heroes with his life, and that's just, those aren't smart odds for Ice.
Like, it's Loda, his Midas up, so it's going to be a Midas Gyrocopter. Something that we've seen a bit from, it's Hal from Nuba who likes to go for the Midas, although generally he gets the phase boots first, but Midas Gyrocopter, definitely a thing, and he's got Midas as well as a Ring of Aqua now, so Loda getting very farmed in the safe lane. Ember Spirit, similar story at bottom lane. He's got phase, brace, and actually going to start getting aggressive here. 3 points in the Flame Guard, 2 in the Searing Chains, 1 in the Sleight of Fist. Bit of a grab bag of skills, but you need that second point in Searing Chains for the 2-second stun duration. Here comes the rotation around mid. It's going to be a smoke gank. Aki, though, unfortunately, he's going to take this one up. The Tornado going to help cover his retreat. Aki does not have a Crystal Nova, so he gets brought down. S4 on the run should be okay. That's okay for Alliance. It's better the CM than the Invoker going down there.
Yeah, pretty big investment from DK as well to bring everybody here, but looks like they will be able to get some good damage down on the tower, so worthwhile overall.
They want to maybe defend this one. Cold Snap on MMY gets an Impale. S4. Careful. Son of Magnus going to get hit by an X into a boat. Immediate Ghost Walk gets used, and that's going to do some damage to S4, but doesn't look like there's any detection. And S4's not done. He was hunting MMY there. Knows there's a regen rune. Almost found him with the Tornado. That was smart play from S4 all in all.
Yeah, one thing I guess that we do need to mention as well for this game is that Chen's sendback is now dispellable, so Tornado is going to be a really big resource for S4 as well.
Alliance now wrapping around top lane. This tower, did scout him out. Ice is going to TP and TP now. Song of the Siren not up just yet. He's flying over the tree line here, and he'll get out of there okay.
Also getting pretty close to his blink.
On who, sorry?
On Ice. Yeah, those 2 tier 1 towers have helped out a lot as far as his progression is concerned, despite the 2 deaths.
All right, we'll see where the 2 teams look to go next here. Ice. Farm Blink Dagger is probably the next plan for not just Ice, but DK as a whole. They're probably going to wait for this Blink Dagger on Batrider and then get everyone involved again. Burning the Ember Spirit is not really like a carry you just want to keep on free farming like the Gyrocopter maybe is. He'll look to get involved as early as possible, especially with a max Flame Guard build. He's very tanky and can do a lot of damage in a team fight, but Gyrocopter going full greed. Midas into Helm of the Dominator seems to be the build of Lotus choice right now.
Yeah, and they've already got a little Ancient stack set up for him as well, so yeah, this is looking like they're not using any of the this early to mid game BKB Gyrocopter team fight shenanigans. It's pretty much all Loda just saying, look, I'm aiming for the late game, I'm going ultra greedy, and if DK don't manage to punish him for it, it could end up working out quite nicely. Yeah. EGM does desperately need his level 6 up pretty soon, especially with that Blink Dagger on the bat getting pretty close, so we'll keep an eye on him, I guess.
He's doing that very reminiscent TI3 build, going for the Poor Man's Shield into Urn with a Magic Stick. He's got 2 in Ensnare, 3 in Riptide, doesn't need the mirror images for some time. And, well, he was just looking for his level 6 here by pulling some big camps here, denying some decent XP. Ice may come in and scout this one out, but getting a kill on his own, not really going to be possible. But Mushi has an Invis Rune, and with that, Nagasar and EGM just leaves this big camp. And that's Ice to take right now. That could get him very close to that Blink Dagger if he manages to kill it off.
Yeah, and DK are feeling pretty confident that they went undetected here because they placed in a sentry ward right as they rotated up.
This doesn't look good for Loda. Or whoever gets initiated on it looks bad for. It's going to be EGM. The X into a boat here. Lotus is going to throw a cooldown and leave his buddy to die. The TP coming in may just need to be cancelled here. Aki's going to commit to it. There's also an Invoker showing up, but there's Ember Spirit. Burning rotated towards his top lane. Homing Missile just going to be used to zone some of these heroes out, but Alliance, I think, need to disengage. And there's another X. There's a Torrent to follow. Mushi's going to catch out Aki. The Sleight of Fist is there. Aki is low. Not brought down, though. They don't want to commit on underneath this tower, so not the worst fight for Alliance, but not exactly a good trade by any means either.
Yeah, TP everybody in, get nothing. Lanham, meanwhile, just getting some good levels and almost finishing up his mech over on mid. Lanham...
Oh, caught out wrong place, wrong time. He's got Hand of God, but doesn't get a chance to use it after the EMP, so Alliance will take the freebie.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that was not the smartest move from
now
Lanham.
they feel confident they can defend this top lane. They do have to be careful. There is a Finger of Death available. MMY only catches him with a Hex, and without backup, the Finger of Death not going to do enough. It looks like this Tier 1 tower can be defended by Alliance. They need to try and de-ward. This Raiden Observer giving some great info to the way of the Chinese squad, but...
Lanham's going to be kicking himself there. He was, I think, 850 gold as he rounded that corner and died, so mech gets delayed that little bit longer, and hitting that Blink Dagger mech timing would have been really nice for them. I guess something else to talk about here is Mushi's Kunkka build with the 3 points in X marks the spot. I'm a huge fan, personally, of this, just because it sets up for super easy single target boats. You walk up, you X mark, you throw the boat in the general direction of the X marked hero, and you pretty much get it every single time, unless they have a a blink or something along those lines. So
Ruh-roh. Here comes Mushi. He sees this ancient. Well, he doesn't see the ancient. Well, he sees it now. But the Radiant Observer was scouting out Gyrocopter and what he was doing. Mushi may go for a few more cleave strikes. I think this is where Alliance almost need to rotate their entire team to secure these ancients. You do not want DK getting in there. Not that DK actually have a good line for clearing it. They've got, well, Sleight of Fist plus
Ember
cleave
Spirit
is
and
decent.
yeah, they're not too bad actually.
It'll take it multiple Sleight of Fist, and Sleight of Fist is only level 2, so it's a pretty long cooldown is the main problem right now. But Chen gonna send creeps in as well, and that's the big thing here is that Gyrocopter, don't get it any lower, because if you get it nice and low, that's where DK will come swoop in.
Yeah, they either need to clear it out or just kind of leave it for the time being. And
like
wow,
5 mana or just do
triple
nothing.
hell. Wait, how many Hellbears are there? One of these is not. Okay, one of them is Lotus Hellbear. 2 of them are Lanham's Hellbears, and there's a Centaur.
They're going to go for this. There's going to be an X-Boat initiation. Lotus is going to be done for. Nice disengagement from EGM. He's got to get out of the Firefly. Gets full stuffed out. The full stuff saving him from the Firefly damage. Alliance coming up with the big plays there. S4 on that Invoker. That was so close. The chase is on. Ice wants Loda, but Loda's already back to base. They will get the Ancient Steel perhaps. DK almost punish Alliance there.
Yeah, Lotus survived on 8 HP.
Yeah.
So that was very, very close.
Ooh. Yeah, some fast reactions from EGM as well as S4 right afterwards. There's going to be a 2-hero searing chains now. EGM gets... I didn't even see the Crystal Main. Just evaporates in a pile of dust here, and EGM going to get caught up. No Song and Siren available, but a great Tornado EMP. MMY underneath the tower. EGM still alive. Burning did not get the kill. There's an ensnare on MMY, but unfortunately the tower aggro has been shifted off of him onto the Centaur. The Centaur stun coming in as well. The dust has been used. S4 cannot Ghost Walk. What a play coming out from DK. So good, the Dota Kings. So damn good.
Yeah, DK are just really on form right now. And while that was a really nice save for Alliance, the problem is that they invested their level 1 Song of the Siren and didn't get a counter initiation out of it. So now DK, as soon as this lasso is back off cooldown, which is going to be in 10 seconds, they're going to feel super confident to just go and continue looking for pickoffs, because Alliance don't have Song. There isn't really any good way for them to deal with DK jumping at them right now.
Do you think Loda got maybe a bit too greedy with this build? Like, the minus is one thing, but he went on Helm of the Dominator on top of that. Like, he's not really teamfight ready without a BKB. Or do you think he's gonna, in the long run, it could pay off?
Attack.
I feel like Alliance are just relying on... They're trying to... The mentality is, look, we're just going to keep on holding and farming, and if this game is going to turn around, it's probably going to turn around at the tier 3s. And they're just being greedy until then and kind of relying on S4 to slow down the tempo of the game enough that Admiral Bulldog and Loda can take over the game. But for that to work out, they kind of have to lose, quote unquote, for the next at least probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, the Admiral Bulldog Nature's Prophet has not come online yet, and we saw what that did, tore apart Vici Gaming in Game 2 of their best of 3 in the quarterfinals. So definitely do not count Alliance out here. I mean, looking at the goal graph, it's pretty much even. The experience dead even as well. Like, I don't even know if you can call this a DK lead when you look at those graphs.
Yeah, no, Alliance are doing a pretty good job of picking their fights, avoiding fights, and just creating some space on the map. Not to say that things couldn't start falling apart very quickly, especially as Burning continues to get some more farm, but yeah, the plan is definitely to go late game for them.
I think DK need to pull ahead in the next, like, 5, maybe 10 minutes. Like, if they're not ahead by, like, 5k plus gold in 10 minutes time, I think Alliance win this game in some ways.
Yeah, and also DK didn't get to exploit the fact that the song was down. So if they're letting Alliance, or if they can't find an opportunity to use Lasso while the song is on cooldown, well then they're not really exploiting the fact that it's a support Naga Siren here. So DK, I mean, content to farm for now, but it is something that's going to have to weigh on their minds a little bit. And I think you do have to favor Alliance's draft in the late game.
It's something people also kind of forgot with the Naga Siren. Like, DK in the drafting stage banned out the Wisp as well as the Shadow Demon, 2 good heroes against Batrider, but Song of the Siren, fantastic against Batrider. Unless you're lassoing the Naga Siren, which is not the hero you want to lasso. You want to lasso the Gyro, the Nature's Prophet, the Invoker. Song of the Siren will just be used to counter-initiate every single time lasso is used.
Yeah, it's taken a really long time for everybody to sort of suss out what their favorite counters are to Batrider, but it's very similar to Lifestealer in his heyday, I guess. Everybody just, the hero was
Yeah.
an absolute plague, and then everybody started to work out, okay, look, we're gonna pick Shadow Demon and Viper and Doom and Silences, and we're gonna work out what the counterplay is, how we can deal with it, and we're starting to see more and more innovation as well as far as dealing with the Batrider. And not that picking the Naga Siren to counter the Bat is necessarily innovative, but it's something that we haven't seen for a while, and just goes to show that there are ways to deal with it in certain aspects. It's still a very strong hero, though. I'm not saying that it's not first ban worthy.
Well, DK smoked up, making a prowl towards this top lane. Loda could be the target. They're going to get revealed by Aki over on the neutrals here, so Ice wondering where the hell are they, and is there even a dust being thrown out, I think? Well, they get the lasso on Loda anyways. The cooldown not going to land. The Impale Finger is there. Loda is going to get sniped to pieces. TP in from Prophet, though. He wants a counter kill on MMY. Looks like he might get a TP out from MMY. The EMP is there. The cold snap to follow. MMY brought down, and Batrider's going to TP himself home. So unfortunately for Loda, they revealed the smoke gank, but there was no observer wards. There was no vision for Alliance to get Loda out of that one safely.
Yeah, so DK get the pick off, moving forward a little bit more. Still not quite breaking through these tier 2 towers just yet, but Burning City pretty close to his Beef Fury. Mushi, no real commitment just yet as far as what his build is going to be. If he's going to go for a BKB, he kind of wants everybody else to go for it as well. He really does not want to be isolated during the Song of the Siren. So yeah, it looks like he's just going to be going for Shadow Blade. Yeah. For the time being.
Mushi loves his Shadow Blade. Whenever he plays DK Kunkka, he normally eventually even if it's not his first item, he'll go for it eventually.
He just loves this pick-off build on Kunkka. The early 3 points in X, the Shadow Blade, just throwing boats at people, moving around the whole game. He's not a farmy player as far as the Kunkka.
And he completely innovated it himself. Like, tons of people doing the 2 in X to set up a torrent, but he's the first player to do the 3 in X into Ghost Ship. Like, use Ghost Ship before the torrent when you go in, and that's something which kind of opened a lot of people's eyes as to a new way to play Kunkka.
Yeah, it just means that you're less reliant on landing the boat, which is a little bit awkward. It does really change the nature of the Ghost Ship as well, though. It's being used much more as a way to just blow somebody up, a single hero right at the start of the team fight, as opposed to a big AoE ult. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You're not necessarily getting the full value out of it.
It does lead nicely into a team fight because you have a full 10 seconds of damage block. And like team fights do not last much longer than 10 to 15 seconds. So sure, you're starting with a boat, but you have that damage block for most of the team fight. Loda's going to run into a Chen creep army. Loda's having some fun farming Chen creeps throughout this game, and Loda's still well on top of the net worth thanks to this Midas Helmet and Dominator build of his. Almost has BKB, and I feel like once he's got BKB, Alliance are going to be feeling a lot safer. By no means are they ahead at that point, but it just gives them that breathing room to work with a BKB on Loda.
It gives them the opportunity to take team fights, but they can still fight.
Here's your Expo. It's going to be on Loda himself. Is there going to be a Song of the Siren to counter initiate? You betcha. Are they going to try and fight this? It looks like Mushi going to get caught out. EMP is there. It's going to burn all of Mushi's mana. He's got no way out of this one. Loda's trapped in the corner, though, and he's actually really low. He may need to send back out of this. Ice is there with the Firefly, and there's a dead Loda. Batrider going to go... Batrider's still alive, actually. Burning's just cleaning up here. 4 heroes dead. 5 heroes dead. Alliance get demolished there. They should not have stood around and fought after that Song of the Siren.
It was just such an awkward corner to try and engage into.
Trapped under, like, here. Everything just bottled up. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that team fight.
Fists, and also you have to keep in mind that when you song like that to counter initiate, everybody else on DK is rushing towards there. There's no chance that somebody's off wandering on the other side of the map. It's going to be a full 5-on-5.
We've got a replay. That's that makes me happy. I feel like the thing is they just lack damage output. With Chen having Mech and Hand of God, they couldn't actually kill anyone fast enough then. Well, Burning escapes the initial engagement. Tornado's used just on Burning, and then Ice shows up, lassos Prophet into the rest of his team just so he can get all the Firefly damage out. I don't know. It was a very weird fight. Like, that's not the kind of fight I was expecting to see in this game.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah,
well, they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. Maybe if they'd had the BKB finish in the gyrocopter, things could have gone a little bit better. Also worth pointing out that S4 just doesn't have a next item. He's had this Force Staff up for quite a while, but the progression from him has been a little bit slow, and his net worth is pretty unimpressive as well. Lanham's actually nipping at his heels a bit, and
Yeah.
you'd like this Invoker to have
Dire's
a bit more
middle
farm,
tower
but looks like
is
he's just
under
going to start
attack.
working towards his Hex, and Alliance again still just kind of setting their sights towards the late game right now.
God, MMY playing so aggressive here in the enemy jungle, on his own more or less. Batrider's nearby, but he has a blink to help get him out of there. And I feel that's the thing. I mean, you kind of hit the nail there with no BKB on Loader. They should not have been taking that fight. They can use the song, as soon as DK show up, Song of the Siren, and just get the hell out of there. They don't have a BKB on Gyrocopter. They should not be fighting. Even with a BKB, it's still risky because of the lasso and just the fact that Chen can heal up so much of your damage output. So they've got the BKB now. I still think Alliance play safe, play for the ultra late game where Bulldog can take over with the Ratdoda, Loader can get 5-6 slotted, and play to win then. I don't think they need to be looking to apply so much pressure onto DK. They were doing fine until that fight.
Yeah, tier 2s are still up. They've got a gem over on the Naga Siren now, so long as EGM can hold on to this, it should mean that Alliance should be able to hold on to their side of the map extremely well, and I think that late game plan is still kind of in effect,
Yep.
though DK finding a little bit of an opening with that fight.
It's just now they're down by like, yeah, about 7.5k gold instead of down by like 3 to 4k gold, which is unfortunate, but it's still a game that's not too far out of Alliance's reach. We'll see where they look to go from here. Prophet has the Necrobook 3. The
Dire's
Ratdoda can
middle
begin, and
tower
that's
is under
actually
attack.
going to quickly catch Alliance up, because there's still a lot of T1 towers on the map left to be taken for the Nature's Prophet. Tier 1 mid, Tier 1 bottom,
Dire's
and these Tier
top
1s all
tower is under
fairly
attack.
low. Burning's going to get jumped on here. There is an EMP and Tornado. Burning's Martyr's completely gone. He's may just die here. The Necrobook's coming from behind. There is an Impale nicely used by MMY. Finger of Death being used, but that's not enough damage to kill off MMY. There will be a save there as Invoker ends up being the casualty here. Ice has rotated in. Burning now. He's back in the fray. He wants to keep on fighting. Sleight of Fist goes through. Aki with the freezing field doing
Radiant's
decent
bottom
damage, but
tower
not
is
enough.
under
He ends up dying to a stolen Necrobook, I believe. Chen wholly persuades the Necrobook, turns it around on the Crystal Maiden. Prophet, meanwhile, gets a kill on Mushi on the side. He's going to TP out. No, he doesn't. The Flame Break finds him. Mana Drain onto EGM. EGM is done for, and he's got a gem. He's going to lose the gem here if he can't find a way out of this one, and I don't think there is a way. Lion, meanwhile, has found Loader here. Loader's going to be another kill. This is going to be another team wipe. Loader gets tested the bait. He's trying to turn and fight. The
Radiant's middle
homing missile
tower
is
is
there.
under
It's
attack.
EGM on the Naga Siren going down. Loader will escape, luckily. Another really bad fight for Alliance.
Oh, they were
Radiant's
a
middle tower
fraction
is
of a
under
second
attack.
off getting the Ember Spirit. The Tornado blocked the homing missile, and
Yeah.
had the homing missile stunned him, I don't think he would have been able to get back to the Chen. He wouldn't have been sent back, and Alliance wouldn't have had to commit so far into that fight, and they wouldn't have lost it, and they wouldn't have lost the gem, and split seconds mean everything in this game.
I
which
just
is
noticed that's actually a
ridiculous.
max homing missile. Normally it's the one
Yeah.
value point, but he's gone max with the new changes to it. So that's a big source of damage as well as stun duration that they didn't actually have there. I think S4 felt pressured to use it because he was worried that he was just going to Fire Remnant out, so he wanted to Tornado to kind of just lead things off and guarantee like an EMP, but in the end they should have just led with the homing missile into an EMP and not used Tornado at all.
Well, the thing is, the Tornado was, the homing missile was
Dire's
chasing him
middle
for a
tower
really
is
long
under
time.
attack.
Burning tried to dodge it with a Sleight of Fist, but didn't work out. And then, that's when Alliance saw that there was maybe a bit of an opportunity there. But again, it's another one of those things where S4 needed to Tornado him, so he couldn't just Fire Remnant away, but also needed the Tornado duration to be perfect with the homing missile landing, which is a pretty big ask, even for S4.
Alright, well, we'll see Alliance once again being put onto the back foot, and after that fight, they're down by, well, it's still only around, I guess, getting closer to like 8k gold now, but that actually the gold graph has not changed that much after that last fight, all things considered, but Gem changes hands, and DK still pressuring towers. I think that's where Alliance actually got a little bit of gold. They did bring down that T1 tower in the end. MMY now, he actually ends up
Dire's
revealing the
top tower
smoke
is under
on Loader.
attack.
That's some value positioning from him, and he gets down a super aggressive Observer behind the tier 2 top tower. This is just something Alliance are not going to realize is there, I don't think.
losing the gem for Alliance just absolutely sucks. I think that's even the biggest thing out of that fight.
Dire's
Nice,
top
nice, nice.
tower
Gonna catch
is
up
under
Bulldog here. I
attack.
don't know if we can get this kill on his own. Bulldog just gonna TP it straight out of there. The flame break will, well, gets him. Oh, Bulldog, it does end up getting forced down. And Ice 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 is fairly low. He's actually got that gem. He does not want to be brought down here, but no way to chase him onto the high ground right now. Nice Ice Ice playing with fire, literally speaking, is gonna get his way out of there. And it looks like Alliance are gonna go Roach. With Batrider taken out of the picture, he's out of HP, out of mana, and sent back home. They actually feel confident that they can take this Roach knowing there's no lasso and no Batrider nearby. I think they're right.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna get it, and this is a really heads-up play. They might not even end up trading away anything. They've got their glyph available, and DK suspicion's not roused, or if they are, then they just decide, okay, no lasso, we can't go for this. So a nice win going the way of Alliance.
I don't even know if DK realized, because Bulldog TP'd bottom lane to pretend he's pushing, and only now does the first ping come out. Chen just now pinged Roshan, but it's already well too late. Loda gets an Aegis in his hands, and
tower is under
well,
attack.
believe in Loda, you say, as right now he's level 14, getting close to that. Well, not really that close to level 16 mark, but a couple more minus usages and he'll be
Dire's
getting
top tower
fairly
is
close,
under
and
attack.
DK have got to be pretty careful as this goes to late game.
Yeah, especially once there's ways for Alliance to deal with the Ember Spirit, notably, I guess, a Hex coming online on the Nature's Prophet and a Hex
Radiant's
coming
middle
online on the
tower is under
Invoker.
attack.
The Ember Spirit is the bulk of DK's late game damage for now. Again, we talked about Mushi, how he loves this build, how he loves to roam around and just look for solo pickoffs, but the downfall is showing up a little bit in his farm. He's just not
Dire's top
all
tower
that
is
scary
under attack.
at the moment. If it does start to drag it into the ultra late, he'll kind of get there,
Dire's
and
top tower
it's worth
has
pointing out
fallen.
that if Alliance start turning this game around and they start taking a little bit more map control, we're probably in for a pretty long game. Both teams have really nice high ground defense, so this could get really ugly unless one team's initiator starts getting a lot more work done.
Yeah. If DK
compared
could
to
win
the
it in the
other.
next like 5-10 minutes, or it could drag for another
Dire's bottom
20 to 30
tower
minutes.
is under attack.
Yeah, this could go an hour plus easily. Oh, Loda caught out.
I guess that's what the Aegis is for. They're going to look to fight this one. Prophet TP's in, and Mushi. Shadowblade on cooldown, but unfortunately for Bulldog, he doesn't get the Sprout. Necrobooks are
Dire's
summoned now.
bottom tower
There's
has
a blink
fallen.
out by MMY. Oh no, he still hasn't used the blink. He needs to be careful. AGM not going to catch up. They escape, take out
Dire's
Loda's
bottom
Aegis.
tower
So
is under attack.
quick and easy pickoff for the Dota Kings.
Yeah, and DK still finding opportunities. Burning, meanwhile, just been doing burning things, hitting creeps. Daedalus complete. We haven't really seen him for a little
He's
while.
thrown up at fight. When there were the two big team wipes, he was in both of them. So he's there when it matters.
Yes.
Oh man, he's
Yeah.
going double B Fury. It's almost up as well.
He's getting reasonably close. He's getting very, very scary right now. But Loda in his own right, also getting up some good items. Gonna grab a Demon Edge. We've got 3.7k over on Admiral Bulldog, so more items on their way. S4 not too close to the Hex. Unfortunately, and Alliance are
Dire's
now
middle
starting to
tower
run
is
out
under
of
attack.
tier 2 towers to keep DK at bay. So the need to take fights is going to start getting a little bit more
Dire's middle
urgent.
tower
Or
It's going
the-
to become all about the high ground defense for
Yeah.
Alliance, at least for the next 5+ minutes of this game, until like DK are probably going to secure the next Roshan and commit to a high ground push. At which point it's going to come down to how well Alliance can execute their defense. And Bulldog, he's been spotted. DK know where he is, and this is going to be an easy pick off there. The Radiant Observer Ward, scouting them out. These wards from DK are winning games. They have a sentry here. Alliance, they have a sentry near the Roach Pit, and neither of them scouting out the Radiant Observer Ward. So warding is just winning DK games right now.
Yeah, getting that gem off the Naga Siren 30 seconds after she bought it was absolutely ridiculous. A huge win for DK, honestly.
Ice is going hunting. He's looking for a pickoff. Pops a BKB, a bit aggressive from Ice. If he finds a pickoff there, they potentially get Raxes or at least force multiple buybacks. So I like the idea from Ice, even if the execution wasn't there.
Yeah, and DK just going to start sieging a little bit. They have triple Wild Wings.
Not the
as
best
well.
creeps, but
If there were any Blink Daggers on Alliance, this would be ridiculous. But not the case.
Burning gonna make his way down bottom, but he's left a Fire Remnant behind, so he can always ulti back in should he need to. As Ice, he's found the observer wards of our Lions with his gem, so... Alright, he'll clear these up, and there's just no map vision at all. This Radiant warding, another ward inside the Alliance base. This has not been detected, otherwise it would have been dewarded immediately. The ward behind the top tier 2 tower. I think you look back at this game, if you're Alliance watching this replay, and say, we just lost because of map vision. Like, well, assuming they lose, I don't think this game is over by any means, but so much of this game has been decided by the vision that DK have right now.
We lost when we lost the gem. That's like
yeah.
the pretty sad realization. But
at the same time, like, you can
kind of
look
true.
towards sentry warding, but DK are using all these unusual spots. Like, they're warding in some very creative ways. Like, not doing the normal spot near here, they're going further down here at the secret shop. Like, they're just doing all these various different spots that just catching Alliance off guard. They're blocking up the entire Alliance jungle as well.
Yeah, and it's not like Ake hasn't been throwing sentry wards around to try and find these. It's just that it doesn't really have the gold to work with. And yeah, they've blocked everything.
Every camp, like, mass sentries being purchased. Chen still has they have 2 sentries plus the gem just to block these camps. This is some serious spite coming out from DK.
I don't know if it's spite. It's the call is being made from DK to starve them out, and
yep.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing at this point.
All right, well, I'm gonna keep on using that map control. They're gonna maybe find a pick off at bottom lane. Burning, it gets out of there. Without the Hex, it's so hard to get those pick offs. Both Bulldog and S4 just a bit short of their hexes. 1,500 or so for either one of them, and they have it, but that's 1,500 gold they just don't have right now.
Yeah, and now DK, Mushi has a BKB. They've got the BKB over on Ice. Second Battle Fury complete for Burning, so he's getting just absolutely disgusting in terms of damage output, and Alliance now need to just execute perfectly as far as these counter initiations are concerned. They don't really have any initiation. They're pretty much relying on the Batrider jumping in, he grabs somebody, and then I guess you can hopefully Song. Life gets a lot more difficult against the BKB. EGM needs to Song and net.
Aki, please just drop a sentry ward right here. This high ground based ward is so nice for Batrider when you're trying to push. It makes it so easy for him to find pickoffs. And speaking of pickoffs, he's made his way bottom. He wants Bulldog. Bulldog's TP on cooldown, Flame Break available as well as Lasso, and looks like Bulldog's done for. The cooldown going to be there, but Bulldog is left to hang and dry, and Loaded just going to TP the hell out of there.
Those crits.
Yeah. Nice ice, homing missile. Pop. Oh, what? Aki gets solo killed by MMY. MMY, is he going to survive this? He's going to get out! What? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? How?
That was ridiculous.
How does he do this? What? Who is this team? This is like DK going Super Saiyan 7 mode right now. Like, Starlighter was one thing, but this is... I feel like DK are playing better than they did Starlighter right now. MMY does a little jiggle in his seat there.
Oh, God, that was just great. So, Ake listened to you. He went for the D ward. He got it, but yeah, got punished with the Finger of Death.
I don't know, man.
Speechless. I don't know. That was just... Wow.
No, man. This is deserving of more than an LD wow, okay?
More than an LD wow.
LD throws those wows out like no tomorrow. Like, he's
what
like
else do we
Oprah
have?
with his wows.
What else is in the bag? I don't know what other accolades we have.
I've run out of words to describe this DK team right now.
Yeah.
And it's... Alliance are playing really well. They're getting caught out, but not because of any bad play. It's just because of DK just being in the right place and knowing where to be to find these pickoffs. Roshan respawning in 20 seconds now. DK are going to look to secure that, and I think that's when we start looking towards high ground pushes. Ember Spirit not the best high ground pushing hero, but when you got this much farm, heroes are just going to melt and get one-shotted should you land any crits.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, burning is ridiculous at this point. And look at that, Loda half HP immediately.
Yep.
Bulldog cops a little bit of damage as well, and all of this while burning is completely safe. The Alliance desperately need these hexes. How close are they? They've almost got it on Bulldog. 500 gold. S4 still a ways away, but not too far off. So
I'm wondering if like Ice picks up an ultimate orb. He's maybe even thinking Lincoln Sphere in anticipation of these hexes.
Is under attack.
I feel
yeah,
like
hexes and potentially getting netted while he's BKB'd as he goes in to jump somebody.
Yeah, Lincolns. I mean, there's enough to break the Lincolns on top, but you stop an ensnare, you stop one hex, and it's done. It's kind of paid for itself with that short Lincoln sphere cooldown. So.
And there's nothing else to pop it through his BKB.
Alliance feel desperate. Is this like a smoke into Roshan? Where are they headed? Lamb's actually there ready for this, so I don't. This is not going to work. They realize no one's in the Roshan. Well, their smoke doesn't get revealed. They're going to walk right into Lamb, and unfortunately, he reveals it. Alliance were going for a sneaky little Roshan. It's not going to work. Lamb going to avoid the gank as well. Unfortunately for Alliance, they've got to hightail it now, and Ice is going to catch up Loader, lift him onto the high ground here. He's got no way out apart from maybe... Well, there's no way out here. The Song of the Siren maybe going to cover his retreat. The BKB's wearing off. S4 going to be left behind. 4-stuff out. MMY Impel only catches the Crystal Maiden, and they're going to be a Divine Rapier for Loader. He immediately dies! He gets demolished! One shot by Bernie. The Divine Rapier's on the ground. GG, well played! DK are going to the Grand Finals. What a... Loader goes big. Hats off to Loader. He buys the last-minute Divine Rapier, all or nothing, and gets blown up by one Sleight of Fist. Buy Rapier, lose game.
Buy gem, lose game.
Yeah, I think the gem loss was a lot more costly than that Rapier loss in the end.
Okay, so Ice ends the game with the Rapier, and DK end the series with I don't know what to say. Absolutely fantastic performance from them. Looks like they are once again back on form. This team is on and off, but looks like they're well and truly on here for WPC. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm lost for words, honestly, guys.
Yeah, Alliance can be upset with the result, but I don't think they can be too upset with how they played. Like, their series against VG Gaming, this series against DK, they played well. They showed up and made a good showing, but DK were just on a whole nother level today. Whew. Alliance are not out. They play they're out of the Grand Finals ring, but they're going to be playing in the third place decider. That match tomorrow against Newbie. It's great practice for Alliance, whatever way you look at it, as well as great preparation, and potentially some good money for third place should they beat Newbie in that third place decider. And looking forward to those series as well. But right now, it's going to be a repeat of last year's WPC final. DK versus IG, another best of seven. Holy crap, base skip.
Yeah. Oh man, best of 7 is going to be absolutely grueling. And well, if DK stay on the same form that they showed today, then I think they probably go in as the favorites. I guess talking about that fourth place decider match, like you said, it's the difference between $8,000 and $16,000. So definitely still plenty on the line.
Yeah.
There, and that should also just be an amazing match, like Alliance versus Newbie. That could have quite easily also been your grand final, but no, not to be.
I think, yeah, most people expected Newbie to win, like 2-0 even. So, and looking at Alliance versus DK have not been ultra convincing until today. So I think if someone had said the grand finals is going to be Alliance versus Newbie, no one would have said, oh, I don't believe that. We get DK versus IG, we get Alliance versus Newbie. Thanks everyone for tuning in today to the WPC semifinals. It's been a lot of fun casting, as always, some good old Chinese Dota. Thanks for joining me, Cameron.
Always a pleasure.
If you guys want to follow and support Baseskip, you can do so. Twitter.com/Baseskip or @Baseskip. Myself, I'm Gods, @BTSGods. We're done until tomorrow. It looks like there's maybe a burning interview on stream, so we're going to put on some audio for those of you who speak Chinese. We don't actually understand it here, but guys, enjoy. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more WPC. Third place match, as well as I believe an all-star match, so check those out tomorrow. See you later.
这样的一个状态，你们觉得在打那个决赛的时候也是能继续延续下去吗？
要看训练效果吧。
那么再次和 IG 又是来到决赛舞台上，你们觉得这次你们还是要继续上演这2、3决4一个惊险戏码呢，还是说直接是以自己最好的状态一路杀下去呢？
我觉得当做一场宝贵的训练吧。
好，当做一场宝贵的，不过你也是非常谦虚啊。那么也是再次恭喜你们进入到我们的总决赛。那么现在把画面交给老党。
好的，这个现场也是采访完了 B 神啊，我们刚才还在